women don't like to be wrong. They just like to look right. You can't correct the unhealed woman. You try to hold her accountable, all of a sudden you hate women. You try to tell her that she moving foul, now you judging her. No, girl. You just hate accountability. Unhealed woman will think that everything is an attack. You try to tell them, hey, that was kind of toxic. And you know what they're saying? They'll be like, see, that's why I don't tell nobody nothing. But the reality is, you just don't like to be told about yourself. A healed woman can say, yeah, you're right, I messed up. An unhealed woman, she gonna twist it, she gonna gaslight. The problem is, too many women think that being healed means that can't nobody check you. When in reality, if you can't take correction, then you're not healed.
So yeah, I agree with everything she said there. I would just add the caveat, like, yeah, no, that goes the same both ways, right? And I hate to be that guy because sometimes when we're just talking about one gender, let's stick to that. But everything she said there goes absolutely both ways. When you aren't healed, you can't take correction, right? Everything feels like an attack because you're moving from a defensive posture. And conversations, the amount of conversations we actually have day to day with people that are in a defensive position has really just become the norm. The the ability to pivot immediately when you're wrong and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Hey, you were right about that." Immediately, not with time, not with days, not with hours of reflection. Immediately, being able to do that pivot now is a superpower because it's so rare. That's what it is, right? But we'll stick to the topic at hand here. I just wanted to make it known that this a lot of what she's saying outside of the rejoinders and such that goes for both of us. That really goes for both of us, and we cannot claim that one gender is the better communicator when one is typically moving from a defensive position because of past trauma, past hurt. You cannot be a better communicator. You cannot be anything. You can't be a good spouse, good partner when you were typically, unhealed. But before we do a deeper dive into this one, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. We're still doing two a day, so if you haven't seen my face in a while and you know you're subscribed, it's a notification bell.
Unhealed women don't like to be wrong. They just like to look right.
Wait, a long time ago, I came across someone saying, "Do do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?" Because often, and he was saying this to women, right? What's more important to you, to be happy or do you want to be right? And I think the pause that she gave with that was really profound because we probably came to a point we think that it's hard for us to not see outside of ourselves and see like what we're saying could actually be wrong. Do you hold space for the actual chance that you might be wrong? Most of us do not, right? We believe our own worldview shows us the way, what's right, what's wrong. We hold to that as our creed, as our background, as our backbone. So when it's challenged, our identity is challenged. That makes us defensive. If I'm wrong about this and I've built myself to this height based on all these things that now may be wrong, who am I? What am I? What else am I wrong about? I like to look at things more like the scientific method, right? Science almost wants to be wrong. It wants to be proven wrong because you can get rid of a lot of erroneous data, a lot of erroneous theory, and say, based upon evidence, this is now the guiding light. I think we should all kind of take that posture in a sense in how we deal with each other relationally. If we're trying to combine two different worlds, your world, my world, we're trying to smash them together and have the semblance of a new world, bigger, better, stronger. We're going to be wrong about things often because that's just the nature of it. No one gender is more right than the other. But when you cannot hear it, when you cannot see it, that's when things become absolutely problematic. Personally, I enjoy trying to better my conversation, trying to have more robust conversations, more nuanced conversations. And I often have to realize, yeah, I'm often wrong in things. And that has to be fine. I have to sit in that. The amount of times I genuinely apologize now is way more than I did when I was younger. That's I think, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Especially the more you speak, the more I'm on YouTube, the more of my opinions and thoughts I'm giving out. I have to hold space with the fact that I may be wrong. I may not be seeing the entire picture, the entire scenario. So being able to pivot and say, "Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I was wrong about that." I hold that so close to me. However, when you're when I'm communicating with someone and that doesn't seem to be a possibility, I'm almost I'll give it a try, right? When those conversations when you just kind of it becomes completely circular, and now one person saying, "Well, no, this is my facts, this is my opinions, this is my thoughts," and we've lost sight of the entire plot. We've lost the plot a long time ago. I'm gonna back out. I'm going to back out because on the other side of this, I'm thinking we only have so much time on this planet. I'm not going to spend it completely just walking in circles in something that is probably was probably minute, but now has been such a huger thing now.
You can't correct the unhealed woman. You try to hold her accountable, all of a sudden you hate women. You try to tell her that she moving foul, now you judging her. No, girl. You just hate accountability.
I think largely we have this society that is uh, created putting women into a spot where yes, it becomes very difficult to hold women accountable for them to accept that hey, I may be wrong about something in a profound, in a quick sort of way. I've got this running gag recently, even last week or two, talking to people, and when they call me out on something, they say, "Yeah, you're right. You're right." And they when you hit them with this sort of profound and quick accountability, it's jarring, right? In a playful way that I was prepared to argue with you. Hey, I was prepared to argue. I'll give you a quick example. Right, we got two coworkers who we everyone here believes they've got a thing going on, but they try to be sly and hide it. And and a group was like, why does this bother us so much? And I'm like, yeah, maybe because I'm lonely. Maybe that's the factor. And they look at me like I I was prepared to argue with you, right? No, it's like yeah, probably that's what bothers me about it. That they have someone right now with them, close to them, and I don't. I'm like that absolutely makes sense, right? So being being able to like pivot, being able to admit that hey, this is the thing, this is right or wrong, being able to do these things is a sign, I think, is a healthier sign of emotional balance and intelligence and EQ, but where we all sort of hope for us to sort of be.
Unhealed woman will think that everything is an attack. You try to tell them, hey, that was kind of toxic. And you know what they're saying? They'll be like, see, that's why I don't tell nobody nothing.
Again, like I was alluding to, we haven't created a society that tells women this is wrong, full stop. Full stop. There's always a reason behind it. I did this because you did this to me. Right? There's a mitigating reason. There's something else that makes what they're doing okay, and we have to sort of stand up and say, well, we got to hold ourselves at fault here. If you don't hold people accountable, whichever gender, then you cannot expect to have any build anything realistic with that person. If you cannot say, yes, I did that because I was selfish. I was thinking about myself before you. I put myself before this relationship. Then what's the point? If it's the way men look at it, they're always going to be the one that has broken the relationship, that has the responsibility to fix the relationship, has a responsibility to manage your emotions while this entire process goes on, regardless of if you, the woman, was the one that did the initial damage. To think otherwise, that two people in a relationship and one person is going to be the root of all its downfall is absolute ludicrous. That's just not how it happens, right? You're going to be at fault. He's going to be at fault. If you're both trying your best, you're both going to find yourselves at fault at times. That's just a natural thing. But when the onus of accountability is put on one partner, then you're always going to run into the very same issue where eventually the man men, we just kind of stop communicating because we know I'm going to run up into this wall again and again and again and again. And you'll never be able to take that accountability in a timely manner. If you want to come back and say 3 days later, you know what, you were right, that doesn't really move the needle. Because for 72 hours, there was tension, right? The future is tense, right? And rather than being able to say, hey, let's build a better society in which both parties are accountable for their actions. And I said this on another video, your job, my job is to take care of me for you, and vice versa. Part of that's going to be accountability. When I fall short, and you tell me you did something that hurt me in this way, I need to be able to hear that. I need to be able to see, yeah, maybe that wasn't my intention, but that's the way it shook loose. We can talk about that, right? Or when things are flat out, just, yeah, I did wrong. I have to be accountable for the repair, for what happens to us going forward. You can't do that when someone can't do that in the first initial accountability thing. But look, if you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments below. If you see videos on your screen right now, take a look. Let me know what you think about those as well. And again, if you listen to the sound of my voice and especially you got something you want to add, why haven't you subscribed yet? You're killing me. I'll see you guys in the next one.